Hello, everyone. My name is Brooke Underwood. I'm a Vedic astrologer, hypnotist, and a modern feminine mystic. I feel so at home in this group of feminine frequency. Oh my gosh, it's so good to be here. I'm going to jump right in to my presentation as we have a lot to go over within this 18, 19 minutes or so. But before that, I love to invoke Ganesha, the god that removes inner and outer obstacles, that we invoke before we invoke the Jyotir Vidya, or the light of wisdom that is Vedic astrology and my heart path. So I'm just going to invoke Ganesh. Om Gam Ganapati Namaha. Om Gam Ganapati Namaha. Om Gam Ganapati Namaha. Jai Ganesh. Okay, let me know if you've ever gotten your chart read, your Vedic astrology chart read, and how that was for you. As the technique I'm going to share with you today is so simple. It's so easy, and it's especially applied to your tropical birth chart. So when you Google astrology chart, that is your default tropical Western birth chart. And I'm going to ask you to bring that up either now or when you're listening to this recording to do your own investigative research, because this one very simple technique can just illuminate your soul path so simply yet profoundly. And that's the type of medicine I love to be a part of, the simple yet the profound. Okay. So I'm going to pull up you can't see it, unfortunately, but I have a beautiful presentation here that we're going to go over this encoded wisdom in your birth chart. So what we're looking for in your birth chart is your Atmakaraka. Atma means soul, and Karaka means signifier. So we're looking at your soul planet in your birth chart so we can awaken our core essence or our core nature with less resistance, so we can follow the path, so we can understand what our natural energy is just synchronized with. And I found when I discovered this technique after 4.5 years of practicing traditional Jyotish or Vedic astrology, it just opened my whole mind and my heart, and I felt like, oh, I'm coming home. A very this is who I am, undeniably so. And I'll describe my soul planet too once we get to that in this conversation. So a little bit about me. Indeed, I'm a Vedic astrologer, but I'm also a hypnotist, and I especially work with women who are feeling restless, who are feeling overwhelmed, who are the visionary women, right? All of us here in this group are visionary women. I bet we have a lot of Sun Atmakaraka women in this group, which I'll describe in a few moments. And I do this so that women can awaken to their true self and get out of the programming of people pleasing, of self abandonment, of shrinking their radiance, of feeling like they can't share their true medicine, share their true voice, and really embody who they are from the core. So I return you to your deep feminine truth underneath the superficial layer of your personality, so you can live from that place of wholeness and alignment with your true self. And if you don't know what astrology is, I bet all of us know what astrology is here, right? But if you don't know, astrology is a way of interpreting the pattern of the planets and stars above you when you were born, to understand your true self versus your not self, and really why you were born, why certain things have happened to you, why you've had this certain karma with your family, why stuff with mom has been so challenging in this lifetime, and so forth. It is such a profound blueprint of this lifetime that you are experiencing. How amazing is it that we're all hallucinating right now our own karmic, role in this lifetime? It's profound. So why is it so important to know your purpose, and why is it so important to live your purpose? Well, I see here I'm having a little pause. I'm looking like there's a disruption here. So 1 minute. Okay, we're still rolling, so I'm gonna still roll here. Why is it so important to know and live your purpose? Well, when you know and live your purpose, your spirit can relax and you can be freed from forcing situations, free from forcing relationships that are unaligned. Because living with your true appetite or your authentic desire is much easier when you know who you are from the core. And your purpose really connects us to the core self, not just the heart, but to the womb, to the belly, to just like, this is the core of who I am. So I'm so excited to break this down for you. So, Atmakaraka, your soul planet or your soul signifier, connects you to your purpose. And this is based on the 7 grahas, or the 7 planets in astrology. So the sun, the moon, the Mercury, Mars, Venus, Jupiter, and Saturn. These are the main planets we're going to be looking at in your birth chart to define what purpose is. We all have one planet, one soul purpose that encompasses our energy body. So we're just going to go right into it. If Sun is your soul planet, well, I bet you are here in the group for a reason. You want to network. You want to embody your leadership. Sun is a naturally masculine energy. It's very active. Sun people who have this as their soul planet are very ambitious, very focused, very visionary. And let me take a step back because I realized I didn't disclose how to begin to look at your soul planet, which will be handy before I go into all these categories of the 7 planets. So the soul planet, drumroll, is the highest degree planet in your birth chart. So if you look at your astrology birth chart, or you look at the breakdown of the planets, the highest degree out of those 7 planets that I spoke about, Sun, Moon, Mercury, Mars, Venus, Jupiter, Saturn, the highest degree planet is your soul planet. So find that highest degree planet and then listen in to what I have to share. So back to Sun. Sun is indeed a very masculine oriented planet. So this, I feel like when I tell women that they have a Sun planet, they can feel, oh my gosh, I've always been a little bit of Pallas Athena. I've always been a little more, masculine in my, pursuit of things that maybe I've struggled with, because culture right now is all about returning to, the feminine and to the flow and to cycling. But Sun women, they are solar feminine. They are the alpha femmes. I'm sure Melanie Ann Layer has a Sun Atmakaraka placement, if you know who she is, right? It's about really pursuing something bigger than yourself. And goal-oriented people are very Sun Atmakaraka people. They're also very responsible. They're also very dutiful-oriented, and they're direct. So if you need help with being more direct in your life, just be around a Sun Atmakaraka person, because they're often bearing the burden of being too assertive or too direct, and they usually have to learn ways to soften their delivery because they have so much fire. So Sun people, the archetype is the visionary leader as they inspire others to tap into their inner strength. They also don't like unwanted advice or unnecessary advice. And careers that are often oriented with Sun soul planet or Atmakaraka are inspirational or idealistic positions. So anything from government to politics to coaching to the military to management to entrepreneurs. This is all Sun soul planet energy. So let me know if you have the Sun as your Atmakaraka. I'd love to know. The next is Moon. Moon Atmakaraka people are very intuitive. They're very knowing. They are nurturing. They are wanting to comfort. They are usually sweeter, softer in speech. They're very adaptable like the moon. They can shift, they can flow, and sometimes to a fault, because they're often shifting and flowing and accidentally getting enmeshed in other people's psychic, spiritual, emotional energy. However, that also is their main gift, is to be with others, to merge with others. So of course, they're usually profound therapists and coaches who are more on the intuitive healing side, more of the emotionally, the depth side of things, the subconscious side of things. Moon is also connected to our memories, to our dreams, and to the unconscious. And the moon archetype is the nurturer. The nurturer. Moon people are natural caretakers. They feel very comfortable around all different types of people. They're very peaceful people often, very forgiving. They're devotional. They love to write music. They love to write stories. So careers are often very creative. They're psychologically oriented. They're hypnotists, they're therapists, they're social worker, things like this. And I'm sure a lot of us in this group are also moon Atmakaraka women as well. Let me know if you are, if that's the highest degree planet in your chart. The next planet is Mercury, and Mercury is very multifaceted, very multidimensional. They are very friendly people. They love hobbies. They often make their career out of their hobbies and their skill set, as Mercury has to do with the hands and being able to grasp things quickly. They're very fun people, very quick-witted. They're language-oriented. They're also usually acting or wanting to act or to perform or to be public speakers. They are the editors. They're the detail-oriented people. They're our beloved VAs. They are the ones that are just finding all the issues and just discovering ways to make them more effective and flow. And Mercury people, they're some of my favorite Atmakaraka people because they are the Jack or Jill of all trades. So if you have a Mercury Atmakaraka friend, they're going to be able to help you with your hanging your windows. They're going to be able to fix your earrings for you. They're going to be able to cut your hair. They're going to be able to sing you a song and teach you how to play drums. This is a dear Atmakaraka Mercury sister of mine, and I just love her so much. I often give her an astrology reading while she's cutting my hair. And it's just so amazing, as I'm a Jupiter Atmakaraka person, which is an astrologer, a priestess, a teacher. We'll go into that in a moment. But this is just a little side digression, because indeed, when you know your Atmakaraka, when you see others' Atmakarakas, because it's so easy, you just look at the highest degree planet in the birth chart, and bam, you get an idea of who they are so quickly, and you get to play with those archetypal energies. Back to Mercury, however, Mercury people often can, though, suffer with being too multi-talented and being able to multitask and have all these ideas and skills. So it can be hard for Mercury Atmakaraka people to follow a path. But indeed, they also are great managers, communicators, business people, lawyers, crafts people, and anything where they can manage details is very good for them. The next planet is Mars. Mars Atmakaraka people are very masculine-oriented people, similar to the sun. They're rooted in willpower. They're rooted in taking action. They are the warrior archetype, and they're very ambitious. They're idealistic. Often they're considered intense. They're problem solvers. They want to protect. Mars people want to protect. And they often want to work alone. Mars is like doing its own thing in the mythology. It's like the soldier at the outside of the battlefield, just kind of patrolling, protecting, and, doing its own thing, or protecting the kingdom rather, patrolling and whatnot. So they like to be independent agents, and they also like to keep it simple. They just want to fix things, get things done. They're not necessarily relationship-centered people as much. And they often have to learn how to use their healthy anger, use logic and directness to their benefit, and be wary of when it can come off too harsh. And that archetype of Mars being the warrior, again, they want to protect people. So everything from a defense lawyer to a farmer to a property manager to an engineer, anything that's hands-on, also like chiropractic, acupuncture, I think I just made that up, chiropractic, I think that's a word, chiropractic work, surgery, these are all Mars-oriented careers and soul paths. If you have Venus as your Atmakaraka, I'm sure we have a lot of Venus Atmakaraka people in this group. So Venus rules relationships, luxury, pleasure, women, comfort, and it's similar to the moon. It's gentle, it wants and loves to be rejuvenated, and it's always, Venus specifically, is looking for the highest fulfillment in the world. It wants to see the beauty in everything, and it wants to have the highest fulfillment met. So they're relationship-oriented, they're diplomatic, they're interested in fair trades with other the archetype of Venus is the lover. And Venus people have great taste. They want luxurious things. They love entertaining, connecting with people. And Venus rules desire as well. So they want to just enjoy whatever career that they're doing. And Venus people often are artists, they're foodies, they're designers, they're professors, they're scientists, they're also counselors and coaches, but more in this like, what can we do to help you fulfill your life and to feel so good about enjoying your life no matter where you are? Venus and Jupiter are the counselor planets as well, and they're priestess planets. So if you're a Venus or Jupiter Atmakaraka, you are very much connected to that priestess archetype. The next planet, we have two left, and the next planet is Jupiter. And Jupiter wants to see the higher perspective. I'm a Jupiter Atmakaraka person, and I am endlessly inspired by wisdom and seeing the higher perspective. In my practice as a hypnotist, it's all about changing your perspective, to change your belief system, to change your energy state so that things can happen easily and effortlessly through your own embodiment. Jupiter is very oriented towards truthfulness. It's wanting to have deep insights and share deep insights. It is the planet of purpose. So I love talking about purpose and inner happiness. Jupiter people are also pretty contemplative people. They're wanting to have spiritual experiences. The archetype of Jupiter is the teacher. So they're philosophically oriented. They want careers that uplift others and alleviate suffering on the planet. So they can be therapists, scientists, spiritual teachers, wisdom-oriented businesses. Jupiter's also connected to finances and banking also. And lastly, as we wrap up here, Saturn, Atmakaraka. So if Saturn is your highest degree planet, Saturn is all about endings. It's all about letting go. It's the planet of greatness, Saturn is. And when you have this as an Atmakaraka, you're here to really overcome a lot of obstacles and to learn from your difficulties. And perseverance, hardworking, reliable, dutiful, these are characteristics of Saturn Atmakaraka people. And Saturn people also, like Mars, they kind of like to do their own thing. They're often syncing up with already established careers, already established organizations. Sometimes it can be like a boring type of career path if you're a Saturn Atmakaraka person, but it doesn't have to be. But Saturn is essentially like what rules the elderly, what has been, established for eons. So whatever jobs have been around for eons, organizations and things like this, even eons is like a couple decades, right? And it's still here. That's Saturn. The Saturn archetype is a sacred servant. And they need plenty of alone time, and they are troubleshooters. They're happy to do any dirty job, get their hands dirty, or menial jobs. And they're just great people to persevere no matter what. So this is my last minute of my presentation. Thank you so much for being here. Let me know what your soul planet, your Atmakaraka is. I have a free eclipse workshop coming up in January that I'll drop the waitlist in the comments for this. I'd love to have you to understand how the eclipses will affect your life and your consciousness, and to learn about the eclipses or the nodes in your own birth chart. And a reminder that your soul planet is the core or blueprint of who you are. There's many factors in determining career, but this is one of them. And I hope you've really enjoyed this presentation. Om Namah Shivaya. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.